It would be terrifying to come across a huge roaring bear standing at full height with claws raised and foam dripping from its massive teeth. That's a scary animal indeed, but bears, tigers, and even snakes have nothing on these scary creatures. Welcome to our channel. Let's take a look at the top 10 scariest creatures in the world. Number 10. TITANOBOA. TITANOBOA was a giant snake that has since become extinct. It was almost 4 times heavier than the giant anaconda. The TITANOBOA fossils date back to around 58 to 61 million years ago and was measured around 50 feet. Its weight was between 2,300 and 2,500 pounds. It had a diameter of about 3 feet at its thickest. They had rows of teeth growing on their upper and lower jaws. The teeth were very small in size and very sharp, an adaptation for its hunting. The snake was dull in color. With the disappearance of the dinosaurs, the TITANOBOA was among the pioneer plus-sized reptiles to take over the ecological niche. Number 9. Giant squid. As they live in the deep sea, the giant squid is really hard to study. Much of our information has been pieced together from animals that have washed up on beaches or have been captured in fishing nets. Most recently, on August 16, 2022, a giant squid washed up on Scarborough Beach in the Western Cape of South Africa. It measured more than 4 meters, although the massive invertebrates can reach a length of up to 3 times that. While modern techniques using deep-sea cameras have allowed us to capture them on film a handful of times, there is still much we don't fully understand about their lifestyle and behavior. Number 8. Chupacabra. Chupacabra animals are considered vampires. Chupacabra was first reported in 1995 in Puerto Rico. These vampire animals are thought to be responsible for the death of domestic animals, such as goats. The animals were found dead and drained of blood. There are several testimonies that describe the appearance of this vampire animal. However, almost all of them provide different information. Witnesses who claim to have seen this animal say that the chupacabra's body is similar to a kangaroo with big red eyes. Unfortunately, there is no other clue from this description. There are also eyewitnesses who claim to see this animal as a creature similar to a dog or coyote, but do not have fur. Number 7. Loch Ness Monster. We all know that the tale of the Loch Ness Monster lurking in the dark expanse of Loch Ness in the Highlands is not just a tale. Nessie does really exist, and there are over 1,000 eyewitness accounts and lots of unexplained evidence, leaving scientists baffled. She's long and thin, usually green and with black humps, tail, and snake-like head. And she's shy. When she's emerging from the water, you can just see her body breaking through the waves. You'll be strangely mesmerized by the sight, and you'll instantly know that you saw her when you spot perfect circles of disturbed water that she leaves behind as she swiftly disappears again to the depths of the loch. Number 6. Mothman. As legend has it, the flying Mothman mortified countless Point Pleasant residents in the late 1960s, and when a bridge collapsed, the creature was blamed for the deaths of 46 people. On November 12, 1966, in Clendenin, West Virginia, a group of gravediggers working in a cemetery spotted something strange. They glanced up from their work as something huge soared over their heads. It was a massive figure that was moving rapidly from tree to tree. The gravediggers would later describe this figure as a brown human being. This was the first reported sighting of what would come to be known as the Mothman, an elusive creature that remains as mysterious as it was on the night that a few frightened witnesses first laid eyes on it. Number 5. Bigfoot. Each hemisphere has a unique story about mysterious creatures whose existence is between being and not being. In parts of North America, one of the creatures whose existence is still debated is the Sasquatch, or popularly known as Bigfoot. Bigfoot is described as a giant ape who stands on two legs like a human, but his whole body is covered with jet black fur. Reports about Bigfoot's whereabouts have repeatedly garnered public attention, but the results of investigations into these reports turned out to be nil, and some of them even proved to be hoaxes. British explorer David Thompson is credited with being the first person in 1811 to find clues to the existence of Bigfoot after discovering a set of footprints for the creature. Number 4. Vampire. In popular legend, a vampire is a creature, often fanged, that preys upon humans, generally by consuming their blood. Vampires have been featured in folklore and fiction of various cultures for hundreds of years, predominantly in Europe, although belief in them has waned in modern times. Creatures with vampiric characteristics have appeared at least as far back as ancient Greece, where stories were told of creatures that attacked people in their sleep and drained their bodily fluids. Number 3. Werewolf. Werewolf, in European folklore, is a man who turns into a wolf at night and devours animals, people, or corpses, but returns to human form by day. Some werewolves change shape at will. Others, in whom the condition is hereditary or acquired by having been bitten by a werewolf, change shape involuntarily, under the influence of a full moon. If he is wounded in wolf form, the wounds will show in his human form and may lead to his detection. Belief in werewolves is found throughout the world. The psychiatric condition in which a person believes he is a wolf is called lycanthropy. Number 2. Sphinx. Sphinx, a mythological creature with a lion's body and a human head, is an important image in Egyptian and Greek art and legend. The winged Sphinx of Boeotian Thebes, the most famous in legend, was said to have terrorized the people by demanding the answer to a riddle taught her by the Muses. What is it that has one voice and yet becomes four-footed and two-footed and three-footed? And devouring a man each time the riddle was answered incorrectly. Number 1. Mermaids. A mermaid is a mythical sea-dwelling creature, often described as having the head and body of a woman and a fish's tail below the waist. Stories of mermaids have existed for thousands of years and span cultures across the world, from coastal settlements in Ireland to the landlocked Karoo Desert in South Africa. The first account of mermaids was found as far back as 1000 BC in Assyria, known as Syria today. In the mythical telling of Assyria, the beautiful goddess of fertility, Artigatis, cast herself into a lake and therefore transformed into a mermaid. Thanks for watching.